Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times. So today, and while I work on some really interesting movie recommendation videos that are going to come in the channel real soon, I thought I would sit down today to talk to you about a movie that I have not seen many people talking about. And I have seen really bad reviews about this movie, and I am determined to recommend you this movie, and I am asking you guys to give it a chance, and that is The Block Island Sound.
It's coffee time.
The Block Island Sound is another movie that I didn't have particularly on my radar, but it did come out last year in August at the Fantasia Film Fest, and it was released in March by Netflix. Luckily, I found this movie on my Netflix account, and I decided to give it a watch after reading the synopsis, and I am so glad that I did. This movie is not an A24 movie, but it definitely gave me vibes from, this type of movies, and I think that is part of why I enjoyed it. We're going to be talking about this movie, of course, spoiler free. This is going to be another short review for you guys. If you love horror and if you love movies and collectibles, before leaving this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hit the notification bell before you leave. It is an American science fiction horror thriller written and directed by the brothers Kevin and Matthew McManus. A fisherman's family encounter horrors and dark truths when an ominous force off the coast of Block Island begins killing wildlife. We find ourselves in Block Island, and in this place weird things start to happen with nature. We get to see birds that fall dead from the sky. We get to see fish that come to shore dead as well. Nobody knows what is happening, and apparently there is something hidden in the water. In the movie, we follow the fisherman Tom and his son Harry as they kind of navigate through all of these weird events in the island. The character development in this movie is what makes it so good. This is a movie that is really more character based than plot driven. We are kind of exploring character, and it does touch a couple of topics that I will address in a second. And I have to say that this movie, it is quite lengthy when it comes to the running time, and it's also very slow paced, but honestly I didn't have any problem with that. I was enjoying the movie, and at all times it had me engaged. But not only in the island we get to see weird things happening. Suddenly Harry's father Tom starts to have this weird behavior. He starts disappearing in the middle of the night. He seems not to be able to remember certain things, and Harry's sister Audrey decides to travel to the island with her daughter Emily to try to see what's going on with the dad. And this movie also addresses a lot about family drama and problems, because the family members that we get to explore and get to know here, they all have their own kind of fights and problems from the past. So apart from these strained relationships from this family, this movie is kind of Lovecraftian in a way, but don't expect to see here a big movie about a creature with a lot of blood and guts, because this is not that type of movie. We get to see here a lot of atmosphere, especially when we are with our characters in the middle of the sea in a boat, and the way that they managed to create this tension, this sense of eeriness, I absolutely loved it. And honestly, this movie felt like a movie that was bringing us something a little bit fresh, a little bit new, which is something that I always appreciate in movies. This movie had great acting, it had amazing soundtrack. The soundtrack was just fantastic, and it's kind of foreshadowing the bad things that are going to happen. Also, the cinematography was great, and this is a movie that it's kind of more based on creating this atmosphere, creating this tension, and it is a great kind of a mystery thriller with some horror aspects to it. And even though the movie it is slow paced, it is so rewarding when you're getting to the end, and the end was an ending that might be a little bit more open to interpretation, but for me it was really satisfying. The Block Island Sound is actually a movie that is portraying a couple of different themes. On the one hand, we have mental illness that we are going to see reflected on Harry's father, Tom. And you know, guys, I love movies that combine horror with mental illness, and I absolutely loved what they did in this film. And on the other hand, we have the theme of climate change and problems with climate and what we humans are responsible for and what kind of consequences can it have in the future. I don't want to compare this movie with The Beach House because they are different movies. One is body gore and this one is not really showing all of that blood and gore, but they do have a similar feeling to it when it comes to the climate commentary. This movie is not going to give you jump scares, it's not going to give you gore and blood, but it's going to make you feel really uncomfortable at times. It's going to put you in a position that's going to make you at times nervous. It's definitely going to keep you engaged. And like I said, this movie, even though it's long and slow paced, I was enjoying every minute of it and I absolutely loved it. So even if you don't enjoy slow-paced movies, I would still recommend you to give it a try. I ended up giving this movie a 3.5 out of 5. For me, this was a movie that, you know, really delivered good messages and it took a chance to create something a little bit different from things that we have seen before. And it did put me in the position where I was questioning things, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And I absolutely love also movies that make me think. At the end of the day, I feel like, you know, when it comes to the ending, I feel like they could have explored the themes and the cause a little bit more. I would have loved to see a little bit more of that. But nevertheless, it's a movie that I would definitely rewatch and that I really enjoyed. And this is a movie that, like I said, don't go into it expecting a creature feature or a lot of blood and guts and stuff like that, because that's not that type of film. Also no jump scares, but it is the dreadiness of what it is being shown to you, the images that are gonna stay with you. Alright, you guys, I hope that I did a good job selling this movie to you, because that is kind of the reason why I made this video. I want more people to watch this film and I want more people to enjoy it and just ignore all the bad reviews. I'm telling you, it is worth your time. So let me know, guys, down below if you've already seen this film, if it's been on your watch list, or if you didn't like it at all. We can always talk about that as well. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up before you leave to support the channel, and I hope to see you all, guys, in the next coffee time. Bye.